All right. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be diving into our live talk. I am super excited that you are here with me and that you are watching this. And those of you who are watching the replay, I'm super excited that you get to watch this live training. And of course, this is an interactive training, so we're going to get started. I want you to get very, very familiar with the chat comment box as we're going along. And if you are catching the replay, if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to message me and I will answer any questions that you may have. Other than that, we are officially going to get started and I'm just going to share my screen. So share screen. Whoops. Okay, apparently. Okay, one sec. Oh, there it is. Okay, share screen. Yes, share. Okay. All right. And welcome to our live training that we are doing today called Crush Cravings and Belly Fat, how to balance your hormones and sculpt your body. So as you're hopping on, let me know where you're watching from. Drop your favorite emoji down below and let me know where you are watching from. You can say hi in the chat, in the comments below. I would love that. Okay, so we're going to officially get started. Welcome. I am so thrilled that you are here. As you're hopping on, like I said, say hello, drop your favorite emoji down below, and let me know where you are watching from. This is our live training that we are going to do. I want to try to do these monthly and, just to kind of give you a little bit more in-depth training, give you, some answers to why you've been struggling, but also most importantly, some actual steps that you can take and start using immediately so that you can start making progress towards your goals. Okay, so hi, welcome to the Crush Belly Fat and Cravings, how to balance your hormones and sculpt your body live training today. I'm so excited to be hosting this live training because you may have noticed after having kids or after 30 that you have less energy, that you feel things more, you have more cravings, and that it's much easier to gain than it is to lose. I gotta shut this thing. Sorry, I'm not sure if you can still see my face, but I feel like it is, I get distracted there. Okay, so I know many of you busy moms, struggle with belly fat, struggle with, having energy, having motivation, cravings, and gaining weight. And when you're eating healthy, you're doing cardio and putting all this work in and not seeing the results you want, it can be frustrating, it can be discouraging and even demotivating. And before we get started, I'd like to find out a little bit more about you. How many of you here are currently struggling with cravings? You can go ahead and, say cravings in the comments if this is something that you struggle with. Let me know in the comments if cravings is something that you struggle with. All right, let's see who's hopped on. Oh, Joanne says hello. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Jenny. Okay, I see. Jenny says cravings. Joanne says cravings. That's awesome. Okay, so when you are experiencing cravings, but when you have these things going on, whether it's low energy, you're gaining weight, you're experiencing cravings, insatiable cravings, and you're trying all these things, but nothing's working, right? The other thing too with it is it can also be overwhelming, not knowing where to start or especially if you're already doing all these things and nothing's working and you're just feeling overwhelmed, especially because you feel like you have to add on more, or especially if you are new to the whole eating healthy and exercising thing, this can be very overwhelming, right? Especially while you're taking care of the kids and having to work full time, this can be really overwhelming to try to figure out on your own, to figure out what works for your unique body and your unique metabolism. So this is why I wanted to do this training, was to help give you some clarity about what you need to do. We're going to be talking about body types as well. And because body types do come into play, and of course, how to balance those hormones naturally. All right. And you can let me know too, as we're going along, what resonates with you. Feel free to use that chat, that comment box down below. And of course, for those of you who are watching the replay, I'd love to know any aha moments that you have as we go along. So let me know in the comments if you can relate to this or if you experience any of the following. So are you tired of doing cardio and not getting results? Are you fed up with cutting out things like bread, pasta, and potatoes? Are you fed up with feeling guilty when you snack or indulge, right? Or even if you binge? Are you unsure of how to get the scale to budge, to drop 20 to drop inches so that you can get back to your pre-baby weight or weight you were when you were in your 20s? Are you good throughout the week, but then on weekends you binge? I know myself, this was one of the things that was self-sabotaging for me. I know for a lot of women, actually, they might do this, be stuck in the cycle of being good all week and then binging on the weekend, which is not serving them any good. We can still indulge on the weekend, but binging is where, we need to kind of just do our best to stop that habit. And I'm telling you, willpower alone will not help with binging. There's things that we need to do and have in place to really overcome binging, or at least have more control of it when we have those binge cravings show up. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, of course. Are you tired of being in the stress, eating late at night, or when you've had a bad day? So stress eating, late night eating, or when you've had a bad day, using food as a vice, right? Do you use food or sugar as a vice or a stress reliever? Let me know if you can relate to this. Do you feel frustrated and discouraged because you're trying all these things and putting this work in and getting no results, or that you feel tired and unmotivated to even get the workout done? Do you ever feel self-conscious about going out with friends and family because clothes aren't fitting the way they used to? And is going out a hassle because you feel like you have nothing to wear, or that you have to settle for what fits? Are you tired of not having the energy and the stamina that you used to? Do you criticize yourself or beat yourself up when you can't stop giving into cravings and binging? Are you overwhelmed when it comes to making healthy meals and exercising? Let me know in the comments if you can relate. And I'll give you guys a few moments. Sorry, guys. Check that chat box. Okay. Jenny sees me. Joanne says me. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so before we dive any further, let me formally introduce myself. Hi, my name is Nikki, and I am a certified trainer, trauma-sensitive yoga instructor, and fat loss and metabolism coach. I've worked as a personal trainer for 17 plus years, have trained hundreds of clients, and hosted yoga classes and workshops, both in person and online. I'm also a mom, a wifey, and an empath and an artist. Many years ago, I went through my own weight loss struggle, and despite my best efforts, could not lose it. This was me about 2014. Okay, so that's no 2015. So the picture on the far left is weight loss. It wasn't me. It's a spiral. I was moody. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. We will have to do this again. Hmm. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Oopsie. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dive in again. So this was back in 2013. I gained 20 pounds of stubborn fat in about 2 months' time. And no matter what I did to try and lose the weight would just not, it would not want to come off. And it was really frustrating. It was really discouraging. My health started to spiral out of control. So the picture here on the far left that you see here is back in 2013, almost 11 years ago. And, most of my life it had been very hard to gain weight. So for me to gain 20 pounds in a 2 month period, I knew something was up with my body. And I even went and got blood tests done. And even when it came back fine, I was like, what's going on? Why did I gain all this weight in such a short amount of time? I actually went to my family doctor, got my thyroid checked out. And, when the test came back fine, I was like, well, something doesn't make sense here. Something's off. Something's not, there's got to be some reason why I'm gaining the weight, right? And along the way, I mean, I pretty much struggled for a whole year. I didn't quite have answers. Um, you know, but as I was kind of going along the year, and especially after getting those blood tests back that came back fine, and that was back in March, I was really confused because I was like, why did I put on this weight? And more importantly, why can't I lose it? Why are the things that normally work for people to lose it not working for me? Right. And what I'm talking about is like, when you're eating healthy, when you're portioning better, when you are, for example, doing cardio. At one point I was just relying on cardio because it was quote unquote great for weight loss. And believe me, cardio is not my jam. But I wasn't seeing the scale budge in the direction I wanted. Instead, it was just keeping me where I was. And, I couldn't understand why I couldn't lose it. And, the weight gain wasn't my only symptom. Like I said, there was other things going on with my health. I was feeling tired throughout my day at 26. I should have had way more energy than I did. There was days I definitely felt like napping in the afternoon. And even though I had the best intentions of working out, some days I wasn't able to do it. I had insatiable cravings throughout the day that would, for example, I would keep walking into the kitchen, looking in the cupboards, only to say, I can't eat this because it'll make me gain. And then I'd walk out, or I can't eat this because it's going to make me fat. And I'd end up like closing the cupboard doors and like walking out. I must have did that about 10 to 15 times a day. I would get stuck in the late night eating, weekend binging cycle, and constantly felt like I was starting again on Monday every single week. And even at one point, I was also waking up and snacking. That was the worst because I had already gone to bed, but yet here I am at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m., waking up. And like, if there was a bag of chips near me, I was snacking. So after so I pretty much throughout the year, have been trying to lose it while still going through some of these other symptoms. And after months of this, inches were piling on my waist, my hips. And that summer, I could not fit into my bikini, my shorts, my pants, or my capris that I had. Like all of my summer clothes that I used to wear, I could not fit into, nor could I. Bikini wasn't happening that year. And it was actually shocking to me that I couldn't fit into them. I was actually shocked because I was like, I've never gotten this big in such a short amount of time. What is going on? And, it started to affect my health, my mood, even my confidence with myself, and even my relationships with family and friends got affected as well. And I was eating healthy, even tried restricting calories. I cut out carbs and fats at one point. That's when I got desperate, trying to lose it, especially, as we were getting closer to summer, doing hours of cardio, and I still wasn't seeing the weight drop off. If anything, it was just keeping me maintaining where I was. I wasn't seeing the scale budge the direction that I wanted, and neither was I seeing the inches drop off so I could fit back into my summer clothes, and actually some of my clothes that I'd been wearing for years, right? So I knew something was missing. How many of you here feel like no matter what you try, cutting calories, cutting carbs, walking, counting calories, etc., that you're still struggling, or worse, seeing little to no results? You can type struggling in the comments below. Let me know if you're struggling. We'll check the chat. Joanne says struggling. Jenny says struggling. Ashley says struggling. Okay, we got a few here. So my big realization was, what I didn't realize was that the real reason why I was struggling to lose weight and to lose inches off my tummy, my hips, my waistline area, was because I had hormonal imbalances and slow metabolism. And that until I balanced my hormones and started restoring my metabolism, it would be impossible to lose the weight. So balancing hormones and supporting your metabolism is key to having more energy, less cravings, and more control over them when they do happen. Shedding pounds. Sorry, let me say that again. Okay, so when it comes to like getting the results we want, right? Balancing hormones and supporting your metabolism is key to having more energy, less cravings, and more control over them when they do happen. Shedding pounds and getting that toned and sculpted body that you've always wanted, which is exactly what I'm going to be showing you in today's live training. So here's what we're going to be covering in today's live training. I hope this is recording still. Yes. Okay, good. So here's what we're going to be doing, covering in today's live training. So the secret to flattening your tummy, reducing cravings, and balancing your hormones with simple strategies, including eating for your body type and effective metabolic exercise methods. Okay, so first thing that we're going to actually discuss is the hidden impact of hormones on belly fat, cravings, and stress, and why stress, cortisol, leads to belly fat. Okay, so here's we'll first got to understand what hormones are. Okay, so hormones are not just about periods and hot flashes. Hormones are chemical messengers at play in our bodies that influence nearly all functions, everything from our temperature to our heartbeat, blood sugar to fertility, appetite, metabolism, mood, and sleep patterns. It all has to do with our hormones. Hormones are interconnected, domino effect. Most women need to pay attention to several hormones. And here's the thing too, when one hormone gets out of balance, it can cause other hormones to get out of balance, we need to think of our hormones as interconnected systems that work together, and even our body systems work together as well. So we need to stop thinking of our health, and especially symptoms that are happening in it, as separate things, and realize that a lot of this has to do with our hormones, especially as we get older, and that by bringing hormones back into balance, we actually can bring our body back into balance as well. Okay, so where do hormones come from? And I'm sorry I don't have a picture for you for this. I was thinking of putting one up. I just didn't have enough time to put in the slide, but maybe the next talk on hormones I will. All right, so where do hormones come from? Our endocrine system is responsible for synthesizing and secreting hormones, but some other organs also produce hormones, even though that's not their main functions. So, although most people know that the reproductive system produces hormones, we sometimes ignore the important function of our adrenal glands, thyroid, and pancreas. Even our adipose tissue or fat plays a role in the secretion and release of certain hormones. And when we are stressed, constantly going, have been through trauma, or when stressful situations occur, we can go into fight or flight mode. The stress hormone cortisol gets released. Now, there are times when, this is a natural thing, but when we are constantly going and cortisol's constantly getting released, like, in excess, this is where we can have those elevated cortisol levels. And when we are constantly in this fight or flight state, we'll have these elevated cortisol levels, which that can cause certain symptoms that you may be experiencing. For example, cravings, feeling wired at night, frequent colds and flus. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But when we do have elevated cortisol levels, it also turns your fat storage system up because your body's in survival mode. So that will actually hinder your weight loss progress. And that's something that I didn't realize when I was going through my weight loss struggle. So being in this constant fight or flight or feeling stressed all the time will turn on your body's fat storage system. And it's going to cause things like cravings for sweets, for carbs, sleep issues. It can even cause low energy, it can cause weight gain, especially around the belly and midsection. In fact, if you are someone who struggles with belly fat, chances are that cortisol levels are in excess, along with other hormones that may be out of balance as well. And remember what I said, when one hormone gets out of balance, it can cause others to get out of balance as well, right? So it's almost a domino effect. So we always want to, if we do notice something is out of balance, we want to bring it back into balance, right? Okay, so hormonal imbalances at play. So let's talk about key hormones that directly affect your ability to lose weight, control cravings, and maintain energy. These hormones are cortisol, insulin, estrogen, thyroid, and growth hormone. So we're going to talk a little bit about each one, but I want you to know they are all interconnected, right? They all work together, right? So when even one of them is out of balance, it can create a chain reaction that leads to belly fat, low energy, and even those intense cravings for carbs and sugars. All right, so let's talk a little bit about cortisol and estrogen. Uh-oh, I have a feeling I missed a slide. Yeah, I missed a slide. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about cortisol and estrogen because I don't see the slide next. Okay, we're good. Cortisol and insulin. So when you're stressed, your body produces more cortisol, which is your fight or flight hormone. But here's the thing, elevated cortisol spikes your insulin levels. Insulin is responsible for controlling your blood sugar, but when it's too high, it causes blood sugar crashes. So that's when you suddenly crave sugary, high carb food to get your energy back up. Those are your stress cravings. And the worst part, elevated insulin makes it easy for your body to store fat, especially around your belly. So when we are looking at, excess cortisol or excess cortisol and insulin, for example, with especially excess insulin, some things that you can look for are like wrinkling, thinning skin, or skin has lost its fullness, hair loss, feeling wired at night, heart palpitations, loss of muscle tone in your arms or your legs, cold hands and feet, water retention, puffiness in the face. I know I definitely had that like 11 years ago. You could see all over. Um, Poor memory, high alcohol consumption. So if you're someone who needs to drink, and I'm not saying like you're addicted, but I'm saying, you feel the need to drink, then, where, you have a high alcohol consumption, right? Where, maybe it's on a weekly basis, but you're drinking more, right? This can be something that can be indicative of a few hormones being out of balance, definitely cortisol being one of them, right? Excess. And it's a good idea to, really find out what is going on hormonally, right? Also, fat gain around the belly is another indication, love handles or midsection, a buffalo hump on the back of the neck and the upper back is also indicative of, elevated cortisol levels, also difficulty staying asleep at night. That one also has to do with GH levels as well, frequent colds and flus, cravings for sweets, carbs, hypoglycemia, and constant hunger. And when it comes to excess insulin, there's obviously symptoms that are associated with that as well. Once again, the buffalo hump is another one. Having hypoglycemia, allergies as well, cravings for sweets, carbs, trying to think off the top of my head here as well, with insulin, excess insulin, there's this constant hunger even after you've eaten, like you're just still not satisfied. So that is another thing as well. Okay. Yeah, I totally skipped a slide. I don't know what happened to one of the slides. There's supposed to be one for cortisol and insulin. Sorry, guys. But we talked about it, so we're good. All right, so the other one that we want to look at is estrogen. Now, this is really interesting because often what I see with women, especially if they are of the birthing age, where it's like 20 to say mid 30s, estrogen levels actually can be higher. And a lot of the time, the progesterone could be low, right? So for women, estrogen plays a key role in how and where we store fat. When estrogen levels fluctuate, especially during our moon time, during perimenopause and stress, it can trigger fat storage, particularly around the midsection. This is why even if you are eating well and exercising, you may notice that your waistline is expanding. It's not just about calories in and calories out, it's your hormones working against you. And here's the thing, in perimenopause and menopause, estrogen levels actually lower. And when the estrogen levels get too low, they actually add excess weight, excess fat to your midsection, to your belly. And, if your hips is a fat storage part where you put on weight, can even add it there as well. And, when it comes to estrogen, we want it to be in the just right range. Now, it is true that after 35, our estrogen production actually does start to decline, and we have to do things naturally to help our body produce more of that estrogen. This is why things like weight training is actually really good for you to do, especially, I mean, it's good for you throughout your whole life, But especially like over 25, over 30, you really want to actually start making sure you're doing body weight exercises, or that you're doing those strengthening, those toning exercises, because you want to increase the bone density as well. And this will help actually balance out estrogen levels too. Now, if you're on the excess estrogen side, obviously there's things that you will need to do to bring it back into balance. And, you know, like I said, with estrogen, we want it to be in the just right range. We want it to be balanced, right? Because when we have excess estrogen, this can add a lot of excess weight to our hips. It can cause us to have very feel very irritated around PMS, like moon time and stuff. If you find yourself feeling anxious and irritated, chances are your estrogen levels might be in excess. Obviously, there's other symptoms too that you can look for as well. And we want these to be in the just right range, like I mentioned. So when it comes to estrogen, some things that you can do if you have like excess estrogen is like, get more cruciferous veggies in, cleanse your liver, detox, right? Actually, detoxing will help with both high and low estrogen. And obviously, there would be like specific foods that you can do for that as well. And obviously, making sure that get the movement in too, because that's also detoxifying. We want to get rid of those toxins too. Um, Okay, so the next one is thyroid and slow metabolism. So your thyroid gland regulates your metabolism, essentially how efficiently your body burns calories. If your thyroid is underactive, which can happen due to stress, nutrient deficiencies, or hormonal changes, your metabolism slows down. This makes it much harder to burn fat, even if you are eating less and moving more. An underactive thyroid also leads to fatigue, so you end up feeling tired all the time, which can kill your motivation to stay active or make healthy choices. So, some things you can look for too if you feel like, or if you suspect your thyroid might be functioning, underactive or functioning low. Some of the things that you can look for are like cold hands and feet. Once again, that's another symptom that kind of correlates with the elevated cortisol levels. What else is there? Having no motivation or competitive edge, loss of muscle tone, having aches and pains, poor memory, SADS, right? Seasonal affective disorder, right? When, say the weather is a certain way and, you really feel affected by it. I know I definitely have had that in the past. And what else is there? Weight gain is an obvious weight gain, and the inability to lose it, and just weight gain in general are indicative of an underactive thyroid and slow metabolism. So keep that in mind if weight gain has been something that you've been struggling with. The other thing too that you can look for, I mentioned about memory. I know there's one I forgot. But yeah, oh yeah, energy, right? Feeling fatigued, feeling tired all the time, right? If you're feeling tired all the time, a lot of the time this has to actually do with your thyroid. And when you are doing weight loss and say you undereat, you are affecting your thyroid, and you're affecting cortisol levels too, because you can cause cortisol levels to rise. You can also cause your thyroid to become underactive. So it's really important too that, we make sure that we're eating the right amount of food, for what we need to fuel our body based on our energy requirements, but also make sure that we're eating enough that we can actually make progress towards our goals, right? Yes, it is true when we're doing weight loss, we want to be in slight deficit, but a lot of people go way too extreme and it actually sabotages their efforts, or they lose weight for a bit. And as soon as they come off of it, they've dysregulated their metabolism and caused hormonal imbalances so much to the point that they gain it all back plus more. So we don't want to do that. In order to lose the weight and keep it off, we actually need to, eat the right amount of food. And yes, you can still be in a slight deficit, but it's from, say you have maintenance calories of like, say 2000 per day, or, because this all depends individually. It's based on like your height, your weight, your, energy that you're expending, and your age as well, right? And there's a certain number that's good for you per day, right? And, let's just say ballpark that it was 2000, right? Was what you needed to maintain the weight that you're at now. In order to lose the weight, you would be in a deficit of 3 to 500, meaning you should be eating around 15 to, 1700 calories a day, right? Slight deficit compared to what I've seen, the extremes that I've seen some women do, where they're like, I just eat 500 calories a day. And it's like, that's not enough. Like, it's not enough. And like, even when I explain that to them, they're like, oh, yeah, but I don't want to get fat. And it's like, you're not going to get fat, but you need to eat the proper amount, and where we're getting those calories coming from really makes a difference too. Okay, so going into growth hormone and muscle tone. So growth hormone helps your body burn fat and build muscle, but it declines as we age. Stress, poor sleep, and a lack of the right exercise can further suppress it. Without enough growth hormone, it becomes harder to tone up and lose fat, even with effort. So if you are someone who has hard time sleeping throughout the night, could be that GH levels have declined, especially if you are over 35. There are other symptoms, obviously, too. Growth hormone actually keeps us lean. It's that hormone that keeps us lean. This is why younger people, are able to, eat what they are, able to recover quicker, right? And, when we hit 35, those GH levels decline. It takes a lot longer for us to recover quicker from like workouts or things that, we might take on energy wise, right? Labor wise. The other thing too is, if you notice that as you've been getting older, you've become more of a light sleeper, or you just can't stay asleep during the night, chances are that this has to do with your GH levels. Obviously there's some mood hormones that this would also, mood hormones would definitely come into play, like serotonin, melatonin and stuff too. But, this is one of those hormones that does decline as we age. But the good news is there are natural ways that we can bring it back into balance. So, how this impacts your motivation. So, when all these hormones are out of balance, you end up feeling drained, craving unhealthy foods, and storing more fat, especially around your waist. Plus, the lack of energy and constant stress can sap your motivation. And, it'll make it harder to stay consistent with your workouts or stick to healthy meals. The good news is, by addressing these hormonal imbalances, you can start to reverse these effects, feel more energized, and see the results you've been working so hard for. Okay, so take a look at this fat storage chart and note which ones apply to you. So for the purpose of the training, we are going to focus on certain hormones that are out of balance, that are causing you to gain weight, have cravings, and causing your body to store fat around your belly and midsection. Okay, so take a look at which ones apply to you. So we have the belly, or we are talking about belly fat. So if you take a look right here, this is it. So, we have the sex hormones here: low estrogen, high testosterone. We also have high cortisol. So this is actually one of our stress hormones. Insulin is one of our food hormones. And then we have low growth hormone here as well. So when we are looking at this, okay, so it could be either or: high estrogen or low estrogen, high testosterone. And in fact, with ladies who have PCOS, a lot of the time it's high testosterone, high cortisol, high estrogen that is actually causing them to gain weight around their belly, their midsection. The other two is low growth hormone. So, and this can also be for the thighs as well. And we'll take a look at the hips and buttocks and hamstrings as well. Once again, high estrogen, low progesterone. So these two have a lot to do with our menstrual cycle. They work together. They have a relationship, and I'm not going to go into it, but basically both of these, we want them to be in the just right range so that we can, reduce a lot of the symptoms that women suffer from PMS. But this also can help us actually have that tone, that leaner body as well. So something to keep in mind, right? Now, there are ways to naturally balance these. You do not need to necessarily do hormone replacement therapy. There are natural ways that you can balance these hormones, and a lot of it can actually be done through movement, through macros, through exercise, or sorry, supplements, and also through mindfulness as well. Okay. And oh, sorry, I lost my, there we go. Yeah, we're on the right one. Okay. So one thing that's often overlooked in the weight loss is the fact that not all bodies are the same. So we're going to talk about why body types matter for weight loss and fat loss. So when it comes to weight loss, we have to keep in mind that not all bodies are the same. And that's where understanding your body type comes in. So tailoring your nutrition, your exercise to your unique body type is one of the most effective ways to balance hormones, reduce cravings, and to support sustainable fat loss. Okay, so we'll break it down now. So we have these three body types, right? We have ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph breakdown, and we're going to break down each of these. Okay, so let's look at the far left one, ectomorph. These are the naturally leaner women with a smaller frame who may find it hard to gain weight or build muscle. You may look at someone who's thin and assume they don't struggle with weight, but ectomorphs often have challenges when it comes to toning and building muscle, which can slow metabolism. Okay, so you can let me know in the comments which one of these body types you resonate with most as we go along, because I'd love to hear. The second body type that we're going to look at is mesomorph. So if you're more athletic and a naturally muscular frame, you're likely to be mesomorph. You find it easier to build muscle and lose fat, but without the right nutrition and exercise, it's easy to gain fat, especially around the midsection. Okay, so if this is an area that you struggle with, oftentimes, not just due to hormones, but it also could be genetic, like your body type, right? So let's keep these things in mind. And the last one, endomorph. Endomorphs tend to carry more body fat naturally, especially around the hips, thighs, and belly. If this sounds like you might find that losing fat is much more challenging, and stress or hormonal imbalances can lead to rapid weight gain, right? So, basically, it might be easier for you to gain weight than it is for those first two, right? And the thing is, I just want you to take a note of which one, sounds more like you or sounds more like your body, and which one you can relate to. Now, the key here is to recognize that each body type has its own strengths and challenges when it comes to fat loss. So there is no one size fits all approach to getting the body that you want. This is why you do have to get specific. You do have to dial in those macros. You do have to, learn what training is best and right for you. Okay, so macros for your body type. Now let's talk about food, because this is where it gets really important. Each body type benefits from a different balance of macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. And getting this right is essential for balancing your hormones, reducing cravings, and supporting fat loss. So, ectomorphs, because ectomorphs burn through calories quickly, they often need a higher amount of carbs to sustain energy and avoid cravings, along with enough protein to help build muscle. Mesomorphs thrive on a balanced macro combination. They can handle carbs, but they also need a good amount of protein and healthy fats to maintain muscle while burning fat. Endomorphs, if you're an endomorph, your body is more sensitive to carbs, so a lower carb, higher protein diet, and actually a lower carb, higher fat diet is actually best for these types of bodies, as it will help them burn fat while keeping your hormones balanced. Healthy fats are also key to managing the cravings and maintaining energy. So a lot of endomorphs actually do really well on keto. I don't teach a lot of keto, but I have trained some endomorphs and they actually do pretty good on keto. They're more the high fat, low carb. Mesomorphs can both benefit from either, being protein fueled or fat fueled. Once again, this all depends on an individual basis, and you really need to find out what's right for your unique body and your unique metabolism. Getting your macros right is like finding the perfect fuel for your body. When you give your body what it needs, you'll notice your energy levels rise, cravings decrease, which is amazing, and your metabolism starts working with you instead of against you. Okay, so connecting body type to exercise. Your body type doesn't just affect what you eat, it also affects how your body responds to exercise. This is why some workouts that work for others may not give you the same results. Here's how each body type benefits from different forms of exercise. So we have ectomorphs once again. So you may need to focus more on strength training and less on cardio. And me being an ectomorph myself, I can totally attest to this, where a lot of my training throughout the years has been strength training. Now, mind you, when I was going through my weight loss struggle, and especially in 2014, actually getting to, once I restored my metabolism, and while I was going through that restoration, as much as the protocol said just do cardio and yoga, which I kind of wonder if I had just done that, would I have lost the weight faster? But I also, me being a personal trainer, know that, when someone just relies on necessarily cardio, because I wasn't really doing too much yoga those days. But when that would have just been my only choice, would have been just the cardio. And I know that when you just rely on cardio, you're only burning those calories while you're doing the activity. When you do resistance training, you build that lean muscle, you're actually supporting your metabolism that much more, because you're adding lean muscle to, like, you're building that lean muscle. So the more lean muscle tissue that you have on your body, the higher your metabolism will be. And that also means that once you've exercised for the day, right, you've done your body weight exercises, your resistance training exercises, there's this thermogenic effect where your body actually continues to burn calories throughout the day, because you have that more of that lean muscle on you, but also you've just built that muscle too, and you are actually burning calories while you are at rest too. And who doesn't want that? So if you are an ectomorph, you want to do more of the strength training, less of the cardio. So if you're someone who doesn't need to lose weight, you need to do fat loss or whatever, you want to do fat loss and toning, then, depending on, what your body type is, you may need to switch things up in your training, whether that's adding a little bit more strength training or, doing a mix of resistance training and cardio, right? So we're going to go into mesomorphs next, which they do a mix of resistance training and cardio, because it works well for them. And it works well. If this is your body type, it'll work well for you too. But you'll also want to pay attention to overdoing cardio, as too much can break down muscle and slow down fat loss. So overdoing it on the cardio can actually slow it down as well, right? Okay, and then this last one, endomorphs. Focusing on strength training with bursts of cardio like HIIT helps to burn fat while building muscle. This helps rev up your metabolism, especially since endomorphs tend to hold on to fat more easily. The other thing I would say too is not just HIIT, but yoga HIIT is an excellent tool. Doing stuff like Pilates can actually really help too with both mesomorphs and endomorphs. When it comes to our, training and eating for our body type, so balancing nutrition and exercise for fat loss, by matching your body type with the right nutrition and exercise, you're not only going to see better fat loss, but also feel more energized and balanced. It's about working with your body, not against it. And when you tailor your approach, you'll notice that things like cravings, belly fat, and even low energy start to improve. You'll be able to unlock the body that you've been working towards in a way that feels natural and sustainable. Okay, so the role of exercise in balancing hormones and reducing belly fat. Most women don't realize that the type of exercise they do and how often impacts their hormones, which directly affects belly fat cravings and energy levels. You could be working out intensely and still not seeing the results you want because your hormones aren't in balance. Let's break it down. Okay, so resistance training and growth hormone. When you lift weights or do body weight exercises, you're doing more than just building muscle. These exercises actually boost your growth hormone and testosterone. Yes, women need these too, which are key for burning fat and building lean muscle. This is especially important for belly fat, which is stubborn and hard to lose without muscle building exercises. If you've been avoiding weights, thinking cardio alone will melt the fat, that's where many people get stuck. You need to switch it up. Yoga and yoga HIIT for cortisol and estrogen. Now, if your stress levels are through the roof and you feel overwhelmed, it's where yoga and yoga HIIT come in. These exercises lower cortisol, your stress hormone, which is a huge player in belly fat storage. Plus, they help to balance estrogen, which can get out of whack due to stress, leading to fat accumulation around the midsection. So, if you've been going hard on intense cardio without balancing it with stress relieving practices like yoga, your cortisol might be actually sabotaging your efforts. And this is where doing yoga, even supplementing to bring those cortisol levels down, can make a huge difference. Even doing certain things like, once a month going for a massage, because massage is really good, releasing that oxytocin as well, right? Like certain things like that, like making time for self-care just as much as we make time for our workouts. I do view self-care and workouts as separate things, because self-care is more, you're taking care of the mental, the emotional aspects, doing something relaxing for self-care. Whereas, the things we do to maintain our body, right? Like the nutrition, the workouts. Okay, you can still look at it as a form of self-care, but look at it as really, things you do to keep your health well, right? Things that you do to keep yourself well, or whatever you're working towards, right? If you're working towards losing 20 pounds or shedding inches all over, right? Or you have a really big goal happening, right? So next, going into low, moderate cardio and insulin. Okay. So, often you might have heard this, training in the fat burning zone, right? And for those of you who, crave sweets or carbs often, that's often a sign of insulin resistance. Light to moderate cardio, like walking or jogging, can help improve your body's insulin sensitivity. This stabilizes your blood sugar, reducing those intense cravings and helping your body burn fat instead of storing it. Also, body weight exercises can help with this. Yoga can also help with this as well, right? yoga and body weight exercises can also help with that. But, doing the combination of, those three can really help tremendously with like bringing hormones back into balance, strengthening your body, but also boosting your metabolism. All right. And then lastly, Pilates for core strength and stress relief. And let's not forget about Pilates. Now, I don't teach a lot of Pilates, but I do throw them every now and then again into like workout sequences, circuits, and stuff because they're amazing for getting that lean tone body. And, even if you're like new to it or whatever, you'll be amazed at, the results that you can get from, even doing a little bit of Pilates. And it's really good for strengthening our core. So let's not forget about those. While it's great for toning your core, it's also fantastic for reducing stretch, which in turn lowers cortisol as well. This gives you a double win, a stronger core and a calmer, less stressed mind, both of which help for fat loss. Okay, so putting it all together, exercise and balance, macro balance meals for hormone health, but ultimately to help you shed those, whether it's 10 to 20 pounds, 30 pounds, shedding inches all over, especially in your waistline. So the key to success isn't just about exercising hard. Remember, you can't exercise out a bad diet. It's combining the right types of exercise with balanced meals that are customized for your body type. When you do resistance training, yoga, cardio, Pilates alongside macro balanced meals, your hormones begin to balance out, your cravings diminish, and your body can finally burn fat the way it's supposed to. All right, so combining exercise and nutrition for success. Each body type, whether you're an ectomorph, mesomorph, or an endomorph, responds differently to food and exercise. What works for one person may not work for you. That's why you need to tailor your nutrition and workouts to your unique body. If you've been following cookie cutter plans that, don't consider your specific needs, it's no wonder the results aren't coming. Okay, so take a screenshot of this. Oops. Sorry, my kid. Okay, my kid's gonna be late. All right, so take a screenshot of this. This is kind of like a sample daily workout routine that you can kind of do. So you can see this is kind of like what I would recommend for somebody to do in a week. I would recommend that they do resistance training 3 times a week, especially if they want results faster. But also this will help you not just get results faster, this will also help you to rev your metabolism a lot quicker as well. So I would recommend doing your resistance training 3 times a week. So on the Monday, the Wednesday, and the Friday. Your Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday can be a cardio Pilates or a yoga hit day. Thursday can be cardio Pilates or yoga / yoga hit day. And then Saturday, have yoga. Okay, so basically every second day, you're either doing the cardio or the yoga. And this I would actually personalize a little bit more too. Not just the resistance training, but personalize also, okay, what specifically do you need to work on? Is it better for you to do cardio? Is it better for you to do the yoga? And this will depend on where you're starting from, both physically and, if, you have a lot of stress in your life, because maybe if I tell you to do intense cardio, that would work against you if you have a lot of stress in your life. So instead, if you have a lot of stress in your life, I might tell you to do the yoga every second day, just so that you can help to decrease some of those cortisol levels, right? It really depends on where you're starting from and what's, going on in your life. And, for what I would recommend as your second day. I mean, for the majority of people, I would say, do the cardio at least on the off days, or the yoga hit on the off days, or even the yoga on at least 1 or 2 of the off days, and it really depends on, like I said, where you're starting from. So take a picture of that. Here is meal timing for our hormones. So let's talk about meal timing. If you if you're eating late at night or skipping meals during the day, your insulin is probably spiking, causing cravings and weight gain. By including balanced macros, protein, fat, and carbs in each meal, eating at the right times, you can stabilize your insulin levels and reduce those constant cravings. So this is a quick pick of meal timing for hormones. This actually kind of goes with your circadian rhythm. Ideally, we should be getting up earlier. Like, believe me, when I actually had to do the food timing, when I was kind of learning how to clean up my nutrition, but also learning this whole new thing about food timing. It was interesting. And I also was like, how the frig am I going to get up at 7 when I sleep until like 9 or 10? And this was like back in 11 years ago. Obviously, I don't sleep until that time anymore. But it also, I realized too, why I would wake up stressed. It's because you've already woken up late and like missed half the day, right? So, anyways, yeah, I was like, how am I going to start doing this? Because it is true that when we have our breakfast, right, whenever we've had that first meal, right, um, that actually starts to rev our metabolism. And I know there are some of you who just don't eat breakfast in the morning or are like, I'm going to fast. But the thing is, if you have a slow metabolism or you've gained weight, you're having a hard time losing it, fasting can actually work against you. And it is actually essential that until you've restored your metabolism, you actually need to make sure that you are eating every 2.5 to 4 hours so that you can rev up your metabolism through food. Obviously, you want to make sure you're having the right portions of food, though, to do that. So, food timing does come into play. This is just a sample. You can take a screenshot of that here. And, I like, even if you can't stick to these times, that's okay. You do your best, but the idea is you're eating it around every 2.5 to 3 hours. I mean, you can even push it to 4, but try not to go past that. And, you know, if you've been fasting in the morning and yet you're not seeing the weight come off, you may need to change something. And one of the things that you may need to change is, how you're eating food, right? Maybe the skipping breakfast isn't really a good thing anymore, right? Especially because when your metabolism is already slow and then you do something where you're fasting, your body will just keep storing everything as fat instead of helping you burn it off like you want to. Okay. So, managing stress to reduce belly fat and craving. Stress plays a massive role in weight gain, particularly around your belly. It elevates cortisol, which not only makes you crave sugary foods, but also signals your body's your body basically to store more fat, especially around your waistline. So, stress reduction techniques. For example, yoga is very hormone balancing. So simple techniques like deep breathing, short yoga practices, short or long yoga practices, or mindful movement can help lower cortisol and reduce stress. There are things you can do at home, even on busy days. A few minutes a day can make a huge difference in how your body responds to stress and in turn, how it stores fat. Yoga releases several of the mood happy hormones like serotonin and dopamine that also have a lot to do with cravings. And balancing these hormones will help you to have more control over your cravings, especially for sweets, carbs, and fried foods. And for those of you who find yourself binging, which is also sabotaging your progress, balancing dopamine will be essential for you. Yoga also helps your body to produce GABA. It can also help to boost thyroid and GH levels as well. Um, and also can balance insulin as well as estrogen levels. Okay, so supplements for cortisol control. In addition to these techniques, you might consider natural supplements like Relora or liver supporting herbs like milk thistle to help detox your liver and support hormone balance. When your liver is healthy, your body can process hormones more effectively, and it can also break down foods and metabolize them more effectively, which also makes fat loss much easier. Okay, so why you're still struggling and how a personalized approach can help. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I'm already doing a lot of this. Why am I still struggling? The truth is, even if you're working out regularly and eating what you think is healthy, it might not be right for your body and your hormones. Without a personalized plan that addresses your unique body type, metabolism, and hormone imbalances, you could be stuck in an endless loop of frustration. Many women I work with have been in your shoes, working hard, but still not seeing the results that they want. The problem is that traditional workout programs and diets don't take into account things like your hormones or how stress is impacting your body. This is why cookie cutter plans just don't cut it. This is why they aren't working. So, sorry, guys. Okay, so what you need is a personalized approach that looks at your body type, your unique hormone levels, and your specific metabolism. With a metabolism assessment, we can uncover what's really going on and create a plan that actually works for you. That's when you'll start to see results, whether it's, losing belly fat, reducing cravings, having more energy, losing inches in your waistline, right? Okay, so now that you understand how critical it is to tailor your workouts and nutrition to your unique body type and hormone health, it's time to take action. Imagine finally having a clear plan that works for you instead of against you. No more guessing, no more frustration, no more feeling discouraged, no more having to figure it out all on your own. By booking your metabolism assessment call, we're going to dive deep into what's been holding you back, from stubborn belly fat to cravings and slow progress. I'll create a personalized 90-day plan designed specifically for your body type, hormones, and goals. During the call, we'll assess where your metabolism is currently, identify any self sabotaging habits, and give you the clarity on the exact next steps to finally reach your goals. This includes a 90-day personalized game plan tailored specifically to your body type, hormone health, and fat loss goals, along with weekly coaching and accountability to ensure success. So here's the exciting part. So for the first 10 women who book their metabolism assessment call, you're going to receive my exclusive top 10 belly fat blasting moves and two 25-minute flat tummy workouts and workout calendar as a bonus. This quick, effective workout will jumpstart your journey to a toned core. So once again, for the first 10 women who book their metabolism assessment call, you will receive the top 10 belly fat blasting moves plus two 25-minute flat tummy workouts and a 2-week workout calendar as a bonus. So this quick, effective workout, it's going to jumpstart your journey to its toned core, but I wanted to give this gift to people who are action takers. So if you take action now, you book your metabolism assessment call, I'm going on the call, I will gift you this free bonus top 10 belly fat blasting moves, and it also comes with two 25-minute flat tummy workouts and a 2-week workout calendar. So remember, this is a limited time offer and spots are filling up fast. And once the first 10 spots are gone, they're gone. So take advantage of the special take advantage of this special bonus that I am adding to the metabolism call. And I'm adding this for, the first 10 action takers who decide to book their metabolism assessment call with me. I'll put the link down below. Okay, we'll go into the chat. Okay, and Control V. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Yay. Okay, so it is in the chat there now. Okay. All right, and we're going to open it up for some Q&A next. Okay, so Jenny. Jenny said she just booked her metabolism assessment call. Yay! That's so exciting. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to open the floor for any questions, whether it's about balancing hormones, exercises that burn fat, or how to improve your nutrition. I'm here to help. Remember, those who have gone through this personalized process have seen real results, and I want you to be next. So let's make today the day you stop struggling and start seeing results. Book your metabolism assessment call now to claim your spot and take advantage of the special bonus that I am giving you. I can't wait to see the transformation that you are about to achieve. And we'll leave it open for a couple of minutes just for some Q&A. We'll wait a couple of minutes. If nobody has any Q&A, then we can just end it for this evening. Oh, Joanne says she just booked her metabolism assessment call. Yay, exciting. Okay, there are 8 more spots. 8 more spots, guys. That is exciting. Yay. Oh, Jenny says thank you. Joanne says thank you. Oh, you guys are so welcome. That's sweet. Okay. If there are no questions, then we will end our live training. Other than that, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate you guys taking the time for yourselves and, taking a moment just to, join this live training that we're doing. Of course, we will be doing more of these live trainings. I think November, I don't think I have anything lined up. Might be, we'll still do live trainings inside the community, but I think over the next month or two, we'll actually be preparing for January. There's going to be some new announcements for November and December of things that we're doing inside the community. Other than that, though, I don't see any questions coming in, so we are going to close it here. Well, I just want to thank you, those who came live and those who are watching the replay. Thank you so much for joining us today, taking the time for yourself, for your health, and, taking in as much as you can learn today. Other than that, I do encourage you that if you want more personalized support to do your metabolism assessment call, those who are watching the replay, I will send you the replay link. And other than that, we will see you again soon for another lovely training similar to this one or just like this one. All right, have yourself a wonderful evening. Happy Monday. Also, happy Halloween coming up. We will see you again soon.